Hey everybody, welcome here to Musicians Edition. I'm Evan on the guitar here in this one. We're going to have another entry to our funk or rhythm series here today, and that's going to be practicing floating or sustained hits. So we've been practicing 16th notes, doing scratches or muted hits, and we're going to add in floaters, which is going to be holding a sustained hit while we have our strumming hand float. So great practice for those interested in learning more about funk, as well as those trying to improve as rhythm guitarists. We're gonna have some great practice for both of those. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the main idea here is pairing regular strumming hits with what we're gonna call floating, or the sustained hits. And it's called floating because I'm going to keep my hand strumming throughout it while I have that sustained hit going, as opposed to just strumming down and waiting for the next one that you're going to come in at. Floating helps you keep time and make sure you're going to be keeping a steady rhythm when you do come back into play. So we're going to have our picking hand still moving as if it is strumming, but floating up off the strings for these, like this. All right, so we're gonna look at some strumming patterns, but first let's go ahead and look at some chord options we can use to play in this. You can stick with the regular E9. So the regular E9 is the standard funk chord, whichever way you want to play that. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some new chords as we go through this as well too, for those interested. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with an A7 that I'm going to be playing. So an A7, here's the box for it. I'm going to play that by not hitting either of these top two strings, the low E and A. I'm going to go ahead and bar with my index finger the bottom four strings, barred. And I'm going to use my middle finger as support to help push down to make sure I'm going to get a clean sound bar in all four of those. Then I'm going to use my ring finger to play one fret above that. So instead of the fifth being barred, I'm going to play the sixth fret with my ring finger here, with the third string from the bottom, G string. So I'm going to get this. Just want to make sure I'm only going to be strumming those bottom four strings there. So let's practice this chord. Practice in general with whatever chord you're playing by just playing our nice smooth 16th note rhythm. Practice scratching, some muted hits. We're going to lift off. We're going to be using those as well too. And let's practice some floating. Everything we're going to use here. So our first one, just to get the idea of pairing our regular strumming hits with the floating, this one's going to be easy. So go ahead and play that chord. We're going to use this here. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like. So you can go ahead and see where our sustained hit is. That's going to be on the third beat. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that one just one more time. We'll move on to something a bit more challenging, so go ahead and play along with me here. 1, 2, here we go. One more time. 1, 2, here we go. All right, so let's go ahead and add in one more sustained hit. We're going to play this one more as a loop here. So stick with that same chord. We're going to go ahead and play sustained hit on the 1 and 3. Continue strumming all 4 on the 2 and 4. That's going to sound like this. So easy to loop. Go ahead and jump in with me whenever you are ready. Here it is again. You can go whatever speed you're comfortable with as well too if you need it a bit slower. Or we can go quicker. All right, whatever works for you. Try to go ahead and play these as quick as you can. So I hope that helps you get the idea down of that floating versus the regular strumming. Let's go ahead and use some other ones where we're going to mix up these patterns.
This lesson is brought to you by the Musician's Edition practice book. Make goals and keep track of progress throughout the whole year. When you're done with this video lesson, don't forget to mark this practice time in your Musician's Edition practice book. Now back to the video.
All right, here's our second one. I'll be giving you another new chord you can play with this one. We're going to look at C7. It's going to be that same A7 shape, but we're going to slide up our barred index finger to the 8th fret. So on the 8th fret, we're going to bar, middle finger there for support, ring finger playing the 9th fret of that G string right there. Okay? So that's going to be 8, 9, 8, 8. Make sure you can strum all 4 chords evenly without any duds. So this is going to be one where we're going to practice coming in on the up strum as opposed to coming in again on the down strum. So it's going to look like this here. So we're going to sustain for what's 3/16 notes and come in on the 4th. So we're going to go ahead and still float. We're going to play like this. All right, so we're coming in on that up strum as opposed to waiting out the full 4. So still floating above them. I'm going to go ahead and play it a little bit slower here. Jump in with me on this loop whenever you're ready. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add in some scratching, some muted hits, mixed in with this as well too. So here's our new pattern. You can see our 1 and our 3 beats is the same, that part. We're going to go ahead and scratch for the full 4 strums of the 2 and the 4. All right, so it's going to sound like this. Let's go ahead and play that one more time. Go ahead and jump in whenever you're ready. There we go. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and add in one new chord to this one as well too. We're going to go ahead and play an F7. In F7, we're going to change up our shape a little bit as well, too. Here's the box for it. We're going to go ahead and put our index finger on the 6th fret of the 2nd string here. We're going to put our middle finger on the 7th fret of the 4th string up here. It's the D string. We're going to go ahead and use our ring and pinky fingers on the 8th fret, ring on the 3rd string, and pinky on the 1st string, the highest one there. So that is index, middle, ring, and pinky there. Here it is for the box. Here it is on the box as well too. F7. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back and forth with coming in on the down strum and down strum again versus coming in on the down strum and then again on the up. So it's going to be playing on the 1st and 2nd like this. Mixing it up with, okay, versus coming in on that 4th, that up strum there as opposed to the down. Here it is all together with some scratching just on the 2s and 4s. All right, so go ahead and join in with me here. Here it is again. We can go ahead and play this one on a loop, coming in on this and then followed by that guy afterwards. So here it is. Go ahead and join in with me. All right, one more variation to this one. We're going to go ahead and add in 2 hits at the very end of this. So we're going to go ahead and scratch on the full 2. On the 4, we're going to scratch 2 and then play 2. And lead that right back into the 1. We're going to go ahead and play it as a loop again, like this. All right, so go ahead and join in with me one more time here. That is all together here. 1, 2, here we go. Alrighty. We're going to finish it up with one more. This is going to have us practicing a couple sustained hits back to back, mixed in with scratching, mixed in with just kind of a weird strumming pattern overall to help us get closer to mastering this here. So you can pick any chord out of the ones we use in here or any one that you would like to use. I'm going to go ahead and go back to that C7 myself, barring that 8th fret. So this one is going to look like this. All right, so we're going to scratch 2 at the beginning, and this is a bit harder of a rhythm to pick up on because you can see it's a lot more going on with it. So we'll take this a bit slower. I'm going to go ahead and scratch 2. I'm going to sustain here, float through 1 up strum, sustain again for 2 hits, float through the up strum, scratch twice, and then we're going to do down, floating until we're on that next up strum of the 4th hit there. 2 scratches, 2 hits. Okay, so all together here, that's going to sound like this. All right, so go ahead and feel that one out a bit there. It's definitely a bit trickier. So if you are ready, I'm going to go ahead and play that one more time. We'll go nice and slow once, and then we'll go ahead and go a bit quicker for this last one, and then we'll finish this one up. So we're going to go ahead and play this pattern. 1, 2, here we go. There it is. One more time. Let's go a little bit quicker here for this last one. 1, 2, here we go. There it is. So that's going to finish it up for this one for us. We have learned a few new chords. We have learned some new strumming patterns. We have learned about floating, combining sustained hits with regular hits, with scratching those muted hits as well too. So I hope this is great practice for you, those who are interested in funk or getting better at their rhythm parts on the guitar. Have fun playing, and we will see you next time.